Okay. Dan who? Dan double you. Let's go. Ow, wow, listen right now. Everybody knows the man that says pow. Start the show, gonna talk some toys. This is for the grown-up girls and boys making noise. Let's start the show. Talking Marvel Legends and the money that we blow. Honestly, look, there ain't no stopping me. Turtles and Joes too, let's do this properly. Need to buy more toys, don't tell my bank. Wasn't me, promise it was Hellfire Hank. Whole Who crew, look, they made me do it. If it lands in my door, then I best review it. Screw it, I don't usually boast, but I got Rich M, he's here to host. Raise a toast and raise some ducks. This isn't your average show, we're deluxe. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Hello, how are we doing this Thursday morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are on the planet? We are here to recap the week that was in Marvel Legends, and there has been a whole new wave go up for pre-order just a couple of hours ago. It was, of course, that mini comic wave that has got the community talking as like, do we even want mini comics? Is it replacing a Build-A-Figure? Like, we will discuss all, but we also have a list of potential characters and comics we could see before the year is over. But you know I cannot do it on my own. He is here with me always, of course. Displayed once, Rich M. Rich, how you doing?
Hey, I can't wait for my mini comics, Dan. Oh, what am I gonna do with them all? What am I gonna do?
You have to read. Oh wait. No, you won't. No, you won't. No. You can use your QR code to scan them and get a digital version. Wait. No, you won't. You won't be able to do that either.
Good ideas there. Good ideas.
Your characters can hold them on your display though, and just be very meta.
I mean, some of them can. Some of them haven't got gripping hands. Some of them haven't got the grip, have they?
No, every figure in this wave comes with a gripping hand with the intention of posing with the comic. So you're okay.
Hurrah!
You're okay. We found a good thing.
Gripping hand fans are like, oh, they're frothing at the mouth now, aren't they? They can't wait for this wave.
Positive. Look, we will discuss, and I will have some of these in hand as early as tomorrow, as I'm going to be.
Chill.
Yeah, I'm going to be attending In Demand Toys, their second annual con, if you will. Let me get some graphics up so I can talk about this a little bit, because I'll be doing a live stream Saturday, so I'll be having I said tomorrow, but I mean I'll have them in hand Saturday, hopefully. Or some of them, not all of them.
Oh my god, don't let them know we pre-record this, Dan. Don't let them know it's not really live.
This week, lottery numbers are. Right. So In Demand Toys, if you're in the UK, you should be very familiar with In Demand Toys, one of the big independent stores that I'm sure you have purchased from in the past. Well, they have an actual physical store in Norwich in the UK, and last year they had a birthday event, and this year they are continuing that as an annual thing where they open up the store, they make it a little bit bigger, they have mega deals, they have product on show. If you remember, me and Brandon were there last year showing off some of the Wolverine 2-packs before they actually hit the shelves, and this year we will be doing the same with some of these comic wave figures. So shout out Nick at In Demand as always. It is Saturday the 8th of February. This is open to the public as well, so if you're in the UK and you're near Norwich, or you're willing to make the 3-hour drive like me, then please do so. Everything in store on that day will be 20% off. There's going to be mega deals, giveaways, and of course first time in hand look at some products from Marvel, Star Wars and Transformers. But you know I'm interested in the Marvel Legends. I'm going to be there. I'll be doing a live stream, so I'll be doing a live unboxing on the day of some of these mini comic wave figures. Jay's Toy Collection UK will be there with me as well, so I'm sure he'll be filming some content throughout the day. But yes, if you're in the UK and you want to come to Norwich, then please do so. In Demand Toys, come and see me. I've still got a few cards. Don't worry if you've given me your address. Yours is saved, but I still have a few more. Come and grab a card, say hello, hang out, talk some toys. I'll be there for the majority of the day. And in regards to my
got to interrupt you, Dan Who. Your money was wasted. Big Will's in the chat saying, turn up your mic. You're too low. I'm fine, but you're not.
Oh, damn. This is
the millions you invested in this new sound system.
New mic as well, and damn, failed me. Let's have a look. I think the computer like manually turns me down. Is that better? That better, Big Will? That better? I hope so. I need to keep an eye on this. How do I stop it from manually moving me? I need to disable.
You sound fine my end.
Okay.
There you go. People say better. That's better.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll keep an eye on it. Basically, if I start clipping, it's going to move me down. I need to find a way to figure it out. But yes, let me find this little link. So in regards to Marvel Legends, there's going to be hundreds of pre-owned Marvel Legends for sale. Build-A-Figures, Build-A-Figure parts and accessories. So if you're looking to complete some Build-A-Figures, come down. There's going to be around 10 mega deals on the day and loads of random box older figures and newer figures restocked as well. Plus the new Marvel Legends figures that arrived today. Like the new Spider-Man wave has hit the UK. They are here. So if you have pre-ordered these in the UK, you will likely...
Spider-Man wave? What?
Oh,
Spider-Man wave? What?
What's that, Rich? Talking. What's you're showing something off there?
Oh, is it Husk, Dan?
Oh.
Is it Husk?
It is Husk from the Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave, aka the Genocide Build-A-Figure wave. There she is.
Ooh, hang on, let me do YouTube check. Oh, look how pretty she is.
Very fancy, very fancy.
She's got new boobs. She's got new boobs, everyone.
She's had a breast reduction in regards to Monet.
There you go. There's Monet, and I can confirm smaller boobs. Look, you can't see my eyes through Monet, but you can see my eyes through hers. There we go. Smaller boobs.
Let me find. I got sent a message earlier by Ryan. He has also ordered that wave, Rich, but he's ordered them from Canada. Now, we're not Canadian or American, so we are not struggling with these same issues at the minute. But apparently, and again, I don't know the full details, but apparently anything being shipped from Canada to the US at the moment is being like stopped at the border, and they're being something to do with customs. Again, I don't know the full details, but I do know a few people have hit me up saying that they've tried to order that wave from Canada and they currently can't get them because they're stuck at customs or something. So I think that's like this. I think MCU Collector uses Snowman toys. I know David Evan Smith used that CMD toys.
Well, make yourself a cup of tea, Dan, because I also use CMD toys, and there was no problem getting that to the UK. There we go.
Okay, so I guess I can blame Trump. But again, I'm not getting political. I have no idea what's going on. But in regards to toys, at least, I know that it has been difficult for the US. So I'm just saying I sympathise with just a tiny bit, not just a tiny bit, all right? Just a tiny bit of you getting those Marvel Legends a little bit earlier.
I just wipe my way with tears. Wipe my way with tears for David Evan Smith. Like, I got paid and you haven't.
At the screen right now. Yes. So again, I'm just saying I acknowledge my American friends, and yes, hopefully it gets sorted very, very soon. But as I've said, back to plugging away. Come to In-Demand Toys Saturday. I will be there opening. I'll be doing a live stream on the Saturday as well. So don't quote me on what time, but around midday or early afternoon Saturday, I'll be doing a live stream, doing a live unboxing of this mini comic wave that went up for pre-order today, which we will discuss in a minute. But let me just do the housekeeping real quick before I forget. And I am trying a new mic, people. So you probably can't see. I've went fancy with this little mic. Anyone interested? It's the DJI Mini, but apparently it doesn't work. Oh, it's too quiet. So damn, I'm gonna get a refund. Never mind. I tried to upgrade my tech and it failed on me miserably. But so yeah, I'll try and figure out the audio as we go through. But it's my first day with the new audio, so please bear with. But it should make life easier when I go elsewhere and stream. Dan, your mic is very quiet compared to Rich. Damn! I should just switch back to the other fucking mic, shouldn't I? It's gonna have this. People are gonna join.
Just buy a Yeti Blue like me, lah. Keeps doing good.
Oh my god! I like calculation takes. I'm just gonna have to I don't know. I don't like it. Okay, I apologise. You're gonna have to bear with me.
Ow!
You're gonna have to bear with me today. Let me do the housekeeping anyway. It doesn't matter if I get muted for that. You know the score. Right, anything over £4 or $4, please help contribute to the new tech that won't work on Dan Who Live. Anything over £4 or $4. Friday, our Talking Robot Assistant. Hopefully, we'll read out your comment, and hopefully you can hear her. We shall find out. Last week she had a weird voice that was nothing to do with me. Like genuinely nothing to do with me. me. So I'm hoping she is sorted this week. I don't know. We're going to have to find out if anyone wants to be generous and support the channel. You know I appreciate you. Hit that join button. And if you do hit that join button, we will be doing the after show today as well. So let me set that goal real quick for 5 super chats. And if we get 5 super chats at the Friday tier, then we will let the public...
You should do 5 super chats for a new mic.
I know. That makes me very sad. Extra will be public. All right. There we go. So it's just a goal we set every stream these days since YouTube have allowed this new gimmick. Just a little bit of incentive. If you don't care about the extra show, then it doesn't matter. But it is always a good time. It keeps dipping its levels. That's annoying. Okay, fuck it. I'll switch to the other mic. But you're going to have to bear with me for a sec. Rich, right? You take charge of the stream.
My goals in life achieved.
Hang on, let me find a button to press. That one.
Hey, so everyone, welcome to Traitors USA Talk. Who's been watching the new season? So chaos going on in Traitors Tower. I haven't seen today's episode, Americans, so don't spoil it for me yet. We're a day behind, but I can't wait to find out what happens. Oh, and by the way, Marvel Legends, look, I've got a new Husk figure in hand. Who else has got this in hand? No one, absolutely no one. There she is. She looks lovely, look. She's got a Generation X uniform. She's got the X's on her wrist. Same colour as Monet, so they go together. Look, you can start building out your team with Chamber as well. Amazing work. And there we go. And there's the box there, look. Beautiful Chris Bachalo art from the Generation X preview on the side. And then you can get all the other figures, which I didn't get because importing this one cost enough money that I was not even trying to bring in the rest of them. So only Husk for me, and then I will wait for the rest of them. You sound better. You sound like you're back.
Okay, how does that make a difference to the people? I've switched back to my old setup. Forget that.
Amigo Weapon, look, new boobs. They got new boobs, look. They're completely different bodies. Well, upper torsos at least.
That's
anyway.
it. That's the last time I try and upgrade my tech. What a waste of money. What a waste of money. And that makes me very sad.
Are you too loud now, Dad? You're too loud. It's like Goldilocks tonight. They just
fucking
can't win.
Look. I can't win, can I? Should I just end the stream now? That's my own fault for trying to invest. Never mind. Lessons learned. Just stay the same. Don't change. Right, okay. Let's talk some of these pre-orders. Just briefly, because we've already discussed these already.
Ekin-Su. Sorry, you were just talking about Traitors while you were gone.
Oh, okay. Me and Amanda will watch American Traitors, but we haven't got round to it yet. But we will. Right, this wave went up for pre-order today. The mini comics wave. Now we have discussed this wave already. Of course, I actually quite like the arrangement of characters here. And can you believe it, Rich? Out of all the characters, it is it's Rom. Shout out Classic Toys UK on for Twitter. I've just basically stole your tweet. But Rom was the first to sell out on Star Action figures and in-demand toys. So I haven't checked Pulse or anywhere else, but Rom has already sold out in a couple of the bigger independents, which is very interesting. But I guess it's a character that has never had action figure representation, at least at this scale. And it's probably the oldest property out of all those characters on the screen, I would assume.
Rom's had figures before, just not in the Legends
Not Legends vibe. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But which one of these have you pre-ordered then, Rich?
I have ordered the Wave, Dan. There's not one that I didn't want.
Yeah, so as much as we're about to moan and criticise this comics wave, we both have pre-ordered everything, all right? So we're very self-aware.
The character selection is good. The figures themselves are good. I would have just rather build the stature or build a new strong guy or build rock slide or just build something. I would rather extra legs than comic books.
Yeah, cool. So
legs before comic books, Dan. Legs before comic books.
It's definitely been on people's minds in regards to the communities on Facebook. I've seen I've seen a few videos where people are like, are these comics replacing a Build-A-Figure? Now, it is it's there to be seen that we are definitely getting less Build-A-Figures as time moves on, but I don't think Build-A-Figures are going away, and I don't think this is an incentive to try and replace Build-A-Figures. I genuinely just think this is Hasbro, after 23 years of doing Marvel Legends, are just trying something different. It's as simple as that. Now, us as a collector community, obviously, would prefer the Build-A-Figure format because it is perceived as better value because we're completing a new character. But the reality is that Build-A-Figure is seeped into the overall price of a wave anyway. It's just a marketing ploy that works because, again, it's something that we want. So these comics are then just trying something different, trying to entice new collectors maybe. So I'm not mad at it. Not as mad as some people get on the internet when it comes to Marvel Legends. But speaking honestly, it's not for me. I won't be displaying my characters with these comics. I would definitely prefer a Build-A-Figure if it was either or, but I genuinely don't think it is either or. So again, I'm not mad at it, but again, not my preference. But it is the first time, and I don't think this is going to be the last time either. I think if once they introduce something new, it's never really one and done. We usually see it again at some point. And that's what we're going to discuss today, the potential of what other characters could they use this gimmick to release a figure of. To be honest, any character in the Marvel Universe, full stop. How does he look in hand, Rich?
He's got an articulated jaw, Dan.
Nice.
Go up and down. He can like breathe flames at the X-Men or something.
Most of the skull heads we get in Legends form do have an articulated jaw, to be fair. Ghost Rider and such. So just thoughts on the concept, Rich, before we dive in to talking about characters today. Are you like me? You've pre-ordered everything in this wave. So again, you're a fan of the character selection here. But in regards to the concept, do you understand why they've done it? Is it a head scratcher? Is it not for you? Are we just two grumpy old men on the internet?
Well, I mean, they are based on comic books, and you know me, Dan, I'm a comic book guy. I like comic books, but I like, the thing about comic books is reading them. I'm not a CGC slabbing them and chucking them on a wall display or buying them to like go up in money. I buy comic books to read them. So like, this means nothing to me. It's just little pieces of plastic with the printed cover on. Like, they haven't even printed the back. It's not even like, you can't even show the back as if that's the real comic book. But then I suppose it would be a lot of adverts. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar got milk from the 90s, stuff like that. So that would be much harder to do. But I don't know, a QR code on the back where you could like download the comic on Marvel Unlimited would have been a good idea, I think. Just something more. It wasn't enough for me, but like kids today seem to like those little mini brand things. They always seem to be like selling out in the blind bags. So maybe there are kids out there who want the mini comic book and be like, oh, I get an extra figure to go with my mini comic book. Who knows, Dan? Who knows?
People are buying these for the comics and just like, I get a random figure with it. Look, again, there are going to be people out there that enjoy this concept, and again, if that happens to be their gateway into Marvel Legends, then happy days. I can't be mad at that. It's just I just see it more so as a missed opportunity, because the rumors were there were going to be QR codes, which was intriguing. I guess that's like when we originally got Marvel Legends back in the 2000s, we got an actual physical comic book with the figures as an introduction to these characters. As again, people discover these characters of the Marvel Universe through multiple forms of media, and if buying a toy off the shelf was your introduction, then you had the comic book to indulge and learn a little bit more, which I like that concept. But it moved away as Legends went on, and so I thought this was like the modern day form of that, where you'd get a QR code like the digital age, and I thought that makes sense. Like, again, we're a little bit older, so we prefer the physical media. It would have been nice to have a physical comic, but I guess time moves on, and this would have been an efficient way to get a QR code. But they didn't even do the QR code, so I just see it as a missed opportunity, because there's going to be people that see these, are intrigued by the comic they're with, but then they have to go that little. They're going to have to figure out a way to go and read that comic, and sometimes people don't. Again, people that I don't want to say lazy, but like, if it requires an extra step, they're less likely.
Just going to blow your mind now, Dan. But there is places out there they call comic book shops, and amazingly, that's where you can buy a comic book. I know. I had to Google it myself. I had to Google it.
I wish there was more than there was, to be completely honest. But no, you're not wrong. But I don't know. I just thought the concept is a missed opportunity. But Again, we're in anyway. We're in anyway because we like the characters. We're collecting Marvel Legends. We're adding characters.
I got money in the bank.
Mikey Moonboots with the super chat. How's Friday sound today?
Mikey Moonboots donated
Still
£4.99. Fire wave fire, but the lack of BAV and the small plastic comic book is absolute insult to the long-time collectors and no incentive for new collectors.
Mikey Moonboots, thank you very much. He says, fire wave, but lack of the Build-A-Figure and small plastic comics is an absolute insult to the long-time collectors. No incentive for new collectors. I think that the incentive for long-time collectors is the potential to upgrade characters. Now, again, you don't have to, but it is part of the collecting world. Like, as time goes on, the action figures are going to get better. So you can keep the old Draken in your collection if you wanted to, but aesthetically, you're probably going to want to upgrade him. So I do see there's an incentive for long-time collectors also, but again, we just don't feel that value, or we don't feel rewarded because the gimmick is something we're not interested in. So I see both sides of this story. I understand they're trying something different, but again, as a long-time collector, I could be grumpy and be like, hey, I don't want this. But I don't think it is replacing Build-A-Figure. I just think it's another gimmick they can add to their repertoire. Do you agree, Rich? It's not replacing Build-A-Figures.
I mean, you say that, and I mean, we thought that with Spider-Man, and then that Spider-Man retro and modern day cards has kind of replaced Spider-Man Build-A-Figures, because we haven't had a Spider-Man Build-A-Figure in about 3 years now since they came along. At first we thought, oh, they'll be running alongside it, and then they didn't.
Yeah. Again, time will tell. If I get the opportunity to speak to the Hasbro team, I will just blatantly just ask the question, are Build-A-Figures done, and why are we getting less Build-A-Figures? But I can already hear them talking about the multiple formats they have now compared to back in the day. Like, back in the day, we didn't even get deluxe figures. It was just Build-A-Figure waves. And since then, we've moved on. Build-A-Figure waves, retro cards, different card backs, deluxes, multiple packs, box sets. Like, we have got a lot more formats for release these days than we used to. So that it makes sense on that regard of why we're seeing less of one particular format is because as Legends in general are just being spread across all their different styles, and people are going to have their favorites or not. Do you know, like, I love the Spider-Man retro cards, but people could buy 2 of these and display these. I do like the card backs. Again, there's no nostalgic attachment for these because it's a new design, but 30 years
to be
time,
honest, I like the design of that more than this. I think that
it's
is
more
like
appealing.
It's like a nicer design. Like, they've all got the logos on there of the different comic books. They've got like art on there. Like, that looks good. I mean, like, from the front you can see Husp, but unless you turn on the side, you can't see that. So yeah, I would prefer that one than this anyway. But again, I would prefer it with a Build-A-Figure piece there on the right rather than a little mini comic book. So
yeah, I like the packaging as well, to be fair. I just like that style. It reminds me of toy shelves back in the day, and everything was on plastic card back. So yeah, I don't dislike the packaging style by any means. Yeah, I'll see a couple of these in person for myself on Saturday. So keep an eye on the channel, people. I'll be posting some reels and whatnot and checking some of these out. I won't say which ones, but it won't be all of them, but it will be a couple of them. So I will have a couple of these in hand on Saturday. So keep an eye on my live stream on Saturday. It is a Legends of Liquor week as well, so I will be streaming Saturday and Sunday. I do apologise in advance, but yeah, I'll be streaming live from In Demand with a couple of these. Checking out the packaging and attempting to read a comic. I'll bring my tweezers just in case, Rich, just in case it's a surprise and we can open it, but I very much doubt it. But let's discuss some character potential. Now, you know me and Rich, we always like to whatever the Marvel Legend news is, we like to go off and in our own direction and use that as an opportunity to talk about potential characters and the future of the line. So that's exactly what we're doing here. We're using the comic book gimmick to talk about, okay, what else could they do and include a little comic book with? Because I think we will get another wave of these. Will it be 2025? Again, time will tell. But I do think now it's in their repertoire, we will see it again. So yeah, let's discuss. Let's get it up. So Rich, I'll get the images up and let's take it away.
So yeah, so I think one thing that we said about this wave is that there's a couple of good choices. I think Rom is a good choice. I think Banshee is a good choice with Giant Size X-Men. But based on like key comic books or characters, new characters we haven't had before, there's not much of that. It's like like even it's not first appearances and again I think it's because they're not in those looks in their first appearances. So obviously like Dakin is in his Dark Avengers with just Dark Avengers, the first issue of that where they took over the Avengers title. It's not really a key issue. Ultimate Iron Man, not really his first appearance either. Like Adam Warlock on the Infinity Gauntlet is a good choice. Even Miles Morales doesn't come with his first appearance either. So I think the comic book choices could be better for comic book collectors. But I can see why they've done it because obviously those characters are center stage on the covers that they've chosen. So I'm guessing that led into it a lot as well. But I just think they could do better. They could do better with their choices. So we've kind of got like comic books that are like key issues or iconic covers, or as well like characters who deserve a shot at it. Because again, like we said before, apart from Rom, all these characters have been in the Legend line before in some form or other. But I definitely think they could give us like one or two, or like I think a couple of people like Super Sorrow said about like a first appearance wave or something like that. I think that's something they could do like first time in the line. There's a lot of characters. So yeah, we've just picked 10 characters that we think would be good for this format.
Yeah, just a bit of fun, people, all right? Just a bit of fun. You know how like we do on these channel. We like to break down lists and use the news as an opportunity to go in our own direction. So yeah, this pre-order is up right now. You can pre-order all these figures. Again, we are a fan of the character selection, maybe not so much the format, but we're giving it a chance. We're giving it a chance. And we like the packaging. It reminds me of the Epic Hero days. But let's get into our own list of characters that we would like to see in this type of format. And the first comic we have up is the first issue of X-Men.
Yeah, you've got to start with the X-Men. If you're getting a giant size mini comic, you need a comic book of X-Men issue 1. Again, probably Avengers, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, like they should all be in the mini comic line. But I think the X-Men, because we don't usually get these on their own anymore. The original X-Men, whenever we get them, we tend to get them as like 5-packs these days, which again, some people might prefer getting them all in one go and then it's done. But I think like the way this wave is with like, you know, iconic characters like Wolverine or Iron Man or Spider-Man, but in like different designs, we could do a character on the updated Pinless body that wouldn't be too difficult to do because it doesn't really need a lot of tooling. It could just be repainted from like other molds they've got. But I would put, of course, the leader of the X-Men, Cyclops, up.
Yeah, I think we're always going to get a Cyclops. We're always going to get a Wolverine. But if we're going to revisit these looks, then you got to have the OG leader. And bravo, Rich, on the graphics again today. I like how you've put the little comic in the same style as the actual Hasbro packaging.
Hours of work for them to then upload the like high res things, which I could have used instead. Yeah. So I had to do my low res, try and like sort it all out. But
yeah, I've been there, my friend. I've been there. But yeah, Cyclops in his original. Now, last time we got this look, as you mentioned, was in a 5-pack. But it was a while ago. So those characters are worthy of an upgrade. Now, you just mentioned some people prefer getting them all in one. I am one of those people, Rich. If we're going to complete a team, then ideally it's best, even though it's a little bit more money, I'd rather put the money down to complete a team in one go and then just sit back and be like, hey, and now I've got a new team for the shelf.
So what about then, like, sort of wave of this then, and it's all based on X-Men #1. So you get the 5 X-Men and Magneto, and they all come with like X-Men 1 through 6 or something like that.
If that's the way you get the new X-Men. Look, sometimes, like, for me, it's about world building. So when I'm going to open this figure up to put it on the shelf, I'm not really concerned about the format it gets released. As long as it's a character that I can add to the collection, I'm happy. So, yeah, but again, if you're going to do one X-Man, you could pick any of them, to be fair. Like Beast without his blue fur would have been a good choice as well, but I may be biased towards Hank. But you need the leader of the X-Men. And all of these costume designs are really easy to do now in the pinless era. Surely it can't be too long before we get these again. But Cyclops, again, I guess you chose Cyclops out of the original 5 because it's the leader and we need a strong start.
Like his cost, like the same with like Monet leading to like Husk. Like once you get Cyclops out, like it's not far off Angel and Beast as well. Like reusing a couple of parts. Like obviously with Angel you need to put the wings on it. With Beast you need different like legs and hands. But torso wise, it's the same type of thing, isn't it? So once you've got one done, it leaves way for the other ones done.
And also X-Men #1, like you were talking about the X-Men, the comic selection. That is an iconic comic. You know, like it's X-Men #1. You know, so Yeah,
Jack Kirby art on the cover, like shrunk down to tiny 1 inch size. Like, what's not to love,
yeah.
Dad?
If we're gonna have these mini brands as comics, then yeah, let's add some of those key iconic covers as well. Okay, so X-Men. Let's agree. I think the whole chat can agree. We need some of the first team looks again in the modern era, pinless with all the articulation, etc. I'm sure we will get them. It's a matter of time. You'd buy them again, Rich, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I updated and everything. I'd buy, especially I would buy Cyclops on this card, like, because I like the design of the card back as well. So yeah.
Yeah. The Blatchler, that's our friend Lorenz. He says, "Whoa, I've been here a year, 13 months actually. I've missed the year. I miss. I'd love to get the OG X-Men uniforms." Yeah, Lorenz has been collecting Legends for a little while now, and he started off with his love for the X-Men, and I think he's moved across to Avengers and Joe's, and he's all over the place. He's still got horses on his shelf, but the OG X-Men would definitely go well in his collection. Okay.
There's in the new X-Men comics now. There's a new mutant called Calico, and she like has a like empathic link with a horse, and she like rides a horse about and gives it armor. Like Lorenz would be right there with that, wouldn't he?
Lorenz, do your research, my friend. Let's get the missus will love that one. For context, to the chat this evening, Lorenz's wife, now I was about to say over half, but his lovely wife, she collects horses. So on his display he has horses, Legends and Joes. It's a very unique collection, trust me. But shout out Lorenz as always. I appreciate you being here for the full year, my friend. Thank you for the channel membership token. All right, next up, let's go to the Avengers Swordsman. Now, you mentioned earlier, Rich, in the wave that just went up for pre-order, they may have not been iconic issues or anything like that, but they did have the character front and center on the comic issue, and I suppose that is why you have chose this particular issue of the Avengers. Is it Avengers 12? I think that.
No, and this is not. This is Avengers 19, I think
19,
it is.
Okay. So the Swordsman is front and center. Now, he did start as the Avengers villain, but did then join the Avengers later on, and he is one of the sort of older Avengers that we have never had in Marvel Legends form. Am I correct in that?
That this is, so of all the Avengers members, he is, if they joined in order, he is the earliest one to join that we haven't had before. Like all the characters before him we've had who joined the Avengers, so he's the next one we need. And I mean, this is a beautiful cover. This is like Avengers 19. This is Jack Kirby as well. Like it, and he's just front and center. So he starts off as like this evil guy, and then he ends up joining the Avengers. And he's a character we've never had in action figure form. I mean, he showed up in the MCU. He was part of the Hawkeye TV series, wasn't he? So
there he is. Again, a character. I think someone in the chat just says Jack at Hearts would be good. There's another Avenger we haven't had. But like Rich says, in chronological order of when characters join the Avengers, Swordsman is now the earliest Avenger in the comic book continuity that we haven't had yet in Marvel Legends form. So I think I would go for Swordsman over Jack of Hearts at this point, but I would like them both for sure. And his costume design isn't something overly complicated. Hasbro absolutely capable of doing this as well in the new pinless era. And
he needs a hand as well to grip his sword, so they don't need to give an extra hand. They only need to do one then. Two birds, one stone. There you go.
But this definitely fits. This definitely fits the sort of aesthetic and theme of this wave, because it was characters, and then their comic book covers had the character front and center, like we've got Rom here, and that's exactly what we've got here with Swordsman. You got Swordsman, and then he's front and center on his comic, and it's a character that we need in the Marvel Legends line as well. So yeah, Kev's Collectibles says it's a hit for Swordsman. Yeah, absolutely. You said this is one you'd really want, right?
Yeah, I think we've said Swordsman probably more times than any
and
other Avengers character.
We will keep saying it.
I know people like want Jack of Hearts and Stingray and Firebird. There's lots of Avengers characters that they haven't done. But for me, Swordsman is the one that I want the most. So I would love to get a Swordsman figure in the collection.
And like we said, it's the earliest Avenger in comic chronological order that we have yet to get in figure form. So there's a justified reason. Oh damn, I said justified. I'm trying to ban that from my vocabulary. There's a reason.
I think like we said about X-Men 1 as well being an iconic cover. I mean, you could just do an issue 1. So again, Like if you did an Avengers issue 1, you could do like finally do an updated Thor
Yep.
or Hulk, and I
Yep.
think those two are missing.
Or a
But
Loki.
just for me, I thought if we did that for we'd just be talking about every first issue if we went through all that. So like the X-Men was an example, but again, I wouldn't be opposed to a full wave of that. I just thought we'd go somewhat different with the Avengers and go with the Avenger who debuted the earliest in the team or joined the team the earliest that we have now.
Yeah, debut issues is a whole another stream. This stream, let's jump all over the place. Let's just talk about some interesting characters. And here's some interesting characters that I don't think we have ever had in Legends form ever either, right? Very similar.
Never, no.
Very similar to Rom, who we've just learned, who is super popular. He's selling out all over the place. The Micronauts were Marvel adjacent, right? Like they weren't technically 616, but then Marvel brought the property or something, owned the property, and now they're in the like. Can you give any concept?
The Micronauts are a Hasbro property. They're owned by Hasbro. They were like a toy line, but rather than having like an animated series, they got a comic book. Hasbro sold the rights, and they got this comic book series. So they kind of like ROM in that sense, but Marvel did a lot more with the Micronauts because essentially it's a race of people who live in the micro universe. And then, like, there's millions of them. So, again, this character... So, the guy at the back there, like, Darth Vader, he kind of, like, holding his hands right at the back. That's Baron Karza, who's, like, the big bad of the Micronauts universe. And he's the character who debuted in the toy line. So, he's owned by Hasbro, like Rom is. And the guy on the right, so with the red helmet, that's Aquayear. So, again, he debuted as a toy. So, again, he's owned fully by Hasbro. But the characters who debuted in the comic book that Marvel created, they're owned by Marvel.
Okay.
So you've got like Marionette there, the female character, and you've got Bug there. So even when Hasbro took back the rights to Micronauts, so other publishers have done Micronauts comic book. I think most recently IDW had a run of a series of them. But Bug and Marionette are still part of the 616. So Bug was part of Annihilation. He was part of Star-Lord's team in that. He was like, before they became the Guardians of the Galaxy, he was kind of in that team, and he's shown up in cosmic places as well. And I think he had his own one-shot as well in the 90s, which was quite good as well.
I've never really... Again, I guess we're a little bit too young for Micronaut figures, right? But I'm just trying to find an image or something of some of them. So again, if I'm wrong, I'm sure the chat will tell me. What are we thinking? Like, are these 80s?
I think before that, so like Micronauts issue 1 is 1978, and that's like Dave Cockrum that did that cover, who was like a big, like, well, was one of the better artists on Uncanny X-Men as well.
Are these some of the original figures? Again, I'm not familiar, so if this is just the chat can tell me.
Again, I couldn't tell you if they're like the originals or not. I mean, they're definitely Micronaut figures, but I know they've done updates at different times as well. So
yeah, again, we're a little bit too young to be around for the original. Those are Italian, says Scotty. Okay, thank you. Again, I've googled it, but there's a lot of images, and I don't want to show the wrong one. I was just curious of the scale they were made. The interchangeable world of Micronauts. Let me throw this one up instead. This seems... Does this look more retro? It definitely looks retro, doesn't it? They were 1/18 scale. Okay, so really small. So yeah, really small. I definitely had none of these growing up by any means. That is Micronauts USA. Okay, thank you, Scotty. Thank you. Well, we are going to use the Micronauts to talk about some of those Marvel-owned characters. And I think we have talked about him before, Rich, right?
He was on the first stream I did, the Cosmic stream with you and Brandon. But yeah, this is Bug. This is the character that I would want the most. He's kind of like, acrobatic. He's got this big staff. He's kind of like praying mantis designs. But he's just got a unique look. I like Bug a lot. I think he's a fun character. And again, I think of all the Micronauts that Marvel own, he's the one who's appeared the most in comic books after they lost the Micronauts license. So I think if Hasbro and Marvel are working together now, we obviously got that ROM figure. Yeah. I think the Micronauts is the next place to go. And maybe a 5-pack would be the way to do it and get everyone out at once. But I think if you're going to do one, I would want Bug. Which I know is surprising because you might think it'd be Marionette. But she was a bit crap in the comic books. Bug was far better. So I would want a Bug figure.
And you said he was a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy as well, which that team's more familiar to the general consensus these days.
Yeah, he was like so before Star-Lord started the New Guardians of the Galaxy in Annihilation. He kind of like got like this group of like ragtag, cosmic characters together. It was Deathcry from the Avengers was in there. I think Mantis was in there as well. And Bug was in the team, and then obviously the Guardians, as we know, who were like in the MCU movie, was more that team with like Gamora after Annihilation ended. But he's shown up at different points in the comic book, and he's been part like a sub member. He's come in at certain points as well. But yeah, he's just a good character.
I think with Krista and then with Rom, I think it's safe to say the Micronaut characters may be on the horizon. I think if you're following the pattern of just doing those deeper cuts, there's clearly an audience for it, for sure. And I like this character design as well. I always would choose a more interesting character for figure form. I'd be interested to see how Hasbro execute it. And yeah, Micronauts little comic as well. Why the hell not? So there you go. Good pick there for Bug. So there you go. Micronauts Bug. Right. And by the way, I've got a poll up in the chat. I don't think I mentioned it at the start. Quite simple, people. Quite simple. Where is it gone? It just says, do you like this format? Quite simple. Do you like the mini comic format? Yes or no? And it's split, Rich. It is 51% yes, 49% no. So it's split. Again, I think some people passionately are like, I don't want it, I want Build-A-Figures. But then other people are just a bit more casual and be like, look, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. So yeah, very close. 150 votes as well. So for 150 votes, and it's 50-50, the community is speaking there. The community is speaking. All right, next up, we have Doom 2099.
So yeah, so Doom 2099 is Victor Von Doom in the year 2099, which is as not as far away now as it seemed in the early 90s, to be fair. Yeah. But yeah, so this is Doctor Doom in 2099. So obviously it was like a future universe. A lot of the other characters were vastly different from what they were in the Marvel universe at the time. So like obviously Spider-Man 29 is not Peter Parker. The X-Men 2099, like there's not even like an ancestor of Wolverine or Cyclops. They don't even share any code names. They're completely different, the team lineup. But Doom 29 was Doom. It was Doom in the armor. It would survived into the year 2090. There was like a bit of like controversy and stuff. Is it Victor Doom under there? But yeah, it turns out, yeah, it is. He's still alive, still going. He's more like, he's got this silver armor. He's got these like spike pieces on there. And Doom 2099 is obviously as well in the new Marvel Rivals game, which I think a lot of people would like to see figures of. He's like the rival to the 616 Doctor Doom in that game as well. But I love the 2099 universe. It's like this post-apocalyptic. It's kind of like, no, like 2000 AD. It's kind of that aesthetic, but in the Marvel universe. And there was like a lot of stories, a lot of characters debuted there, which I think have been like underused throughout the years. I think apart from Spider-Man 29, and more recently they brought Punisher 29 back quite a bit. I think he served in Savage Avengers last. They just put him in there. But the characters are really good. There's a lot of scope to do, and they've never got any love in the figure universe. So I think Doctor Doom 2099 would fit like in this line, being like a character, like a well-known character, but in a different look to what we've had before.
Yeah, and again, it's the Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is going to, like, Doctor Doom figures always sell. They always do well. It's one of the big bads of the Marvel Universe. In the Zeitgeist as well, he may be on a lot more people's minds if he does, if Robert Downey Jr. does turn up in Fantastic Four, or at least a post-credit scene or something. And we know we're moving to Doomsday. So just in pop culture in general, Doctor Doom is going to be a name that a lot of people are familiar with. So for us comic collectors, what haven't we got yet in figure form for the shelf? And like Rich said, 2099 characters is not something we get a lot of in figure representation. We have got Spider-Man 2099, of course, but I don't think we have any more, right? We've got no more of those future versions. So
well, that's it. Just Spidey.
Yeah, so why not? Nice comic cover, front and central. Give yourself a Doom 2099 in this comic lineup. I do think we're going to get a lot of Dooms moving forward. So they're going to have to start digging through the comics to see what Dooms they haven't give us. Because in figure form, we've got multiple versions of the dark green. Then we've got the retro carded light green with like the soft goods tunic. We've got the God Doom from Secret Wars, the second Secret Wars, right? With
the white.
yes,
yeah.
and he's got Thanos's spine essentially as an accessory piece. What other ones have we got? We got the Doombot interchangeable head in that free pack, but that was a reissue of the Super Scroll Build-A-Figure wave.
The Secret Wars Doom we had him with Captain Marvel,
and we got the unmasked head as well that he's revealed in Secret Wars with the handsome face. So yeah, they're gonna have to start looking at different Doom designs if they don't want to give us something we've already got. So why not a Doom 2099, similar to the Secret Wars Doom with the white, but I guess they could do this a bit more chrome. I suppose it's meant to be chrome, isn't it? More silver.
Yeah, like you'd want like a metallic
Yeah.
type, like the ROM type of look, or like Ultra Large. You'd want it like be metallic.
Yeah, that would be good. The ROM, the ROM and the is similar to that Ultron we've got with the metallic paint. Wasn't there another thing we got recently that had good metallic paint? Can't remember. But yeah.
I mean, Husk does have a bit of metallic on his gauntlet.
Metallic gold.
There we go. Husk, any excuse. There we go.
Very nice. Right, let's keep going. Now, we did talk about this character last week, but let's keep talking about it until it happens, because it is another one of those X-Men villains we have yet to have in the Marvel Legends line. Now, we spoke about it last week or the week prior in regards to it could be on this could be on an X-Men 97 card. This could be on an X-Men just retro card in general, on the purple card back. So why not put it in the comic line as well? We're just going to find a way to put Exodus in every format of Marvel Legends until they make it happen, because it's one that it's a head scratcher. Why haven't we got it? We got it in the 3 3/4 inch scale back in the day, but never in the 23 years of Marvel Legends have we ever got an Exodus in Marvel Legends form. And so what covers this, Rich, in particular?
This is Uncanny X-Men 307. So this is from, I think, 1994. And that's John Romita Jr. art. I can tell that's John Romita Jr. art by how he draws everyone. Like, if you look at Crystal with those like massive bangs on her head as well. So yeah, this is not the first appearance of Exodus, by the way. But this cover is just like amazing. I remember picking this up, but like Exodus had been around, like he debuted in Fatal Attractions, I think in an issue of X Factor, but he hadn't really made an impact on me. But then when the Blood Ties saga started, and like Fabian Cortez is down in the bottom right there holding, like, I think Luna, the child of Quicksilver and Crystal, like he kidnaps her to try and protect himself, thinking that Magneto's going to come after him. But Magneto at that point has been like brainwashed by Charles Xavier. He's like comatose. So it's Exodus who comes and like hunts him. And Exodus is just a badass. I love this cover. I love Exodus. I think I know a lot of people probably thinking, oh, why didn't you put like Feral with X-Force 1 or Rachel with like Excalibur #1? But those characters have both been like rumored and leaked on various lists out there. But Exodus,
we've talked about
and nothing about Exodus. So I want to make Exodus happen. I love Exodus. I think he's the big bad of 90s X-Men that has been massively overlooked. We still haven't had a figure of him. He had a figure in the Toy Biz line, so why not give him an update and put him on this card with this comic book of Uncanny, part of the Blood Tie saga? I would be happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Rich says, there are plenty of other Marvel characters that we want to keep hammering home, that we want in figure form, like Feral, like Rachel Summers. But I do think we are probably going to get them in 2025 in some way or another. Remember, we only know less than a quarter of the Legends that have been revealed for the year already, so there's still plenty of opportunities for them to happen, but no rumors or rumblings of Exodus yet. So we're just constantly going to keep it into the zeitgeist and keep spreading that awareness of this X-Men character. Fabian Cortez is in the latest Build-A-Figure wave, so the Acolytes are clearly on Hasbro's minds. And again, you don't have a conversation about Fabian Cortez and the Acolytes without eventually getting to Exodus. So I'm sure this is a name that has been said in those Marvel boardrooms at some point, but where will he eventually land? Why not one of these comic waves? Why not? And it looks pretty good next to his comic issue there as well. So I'll take it. Again, this is the type of character where I don't care what format they make it, just get it out to us. And the chat agree. They would want Exodus. Absolutely right. Okay. Next up. Now this is sort of on topic, Rich, because this week we had the Fantastic Four trailer drop. Now, before we talk about this, did you watch the trailer, Rich? What are your thoughts on the Fantastic Four trailer?
I did watch the trailer. I thought it looked really good. I was quite happy with it. The thing, when he spoke, and it was just like, he spoke like the normal, that threw me a bit, because I'm like, more like Thing being like the Costco guys, being like, double chunk chocolate cookie, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if the Costco guys are from New York. Apologies if they're not. But like that strong, like thick American accent, and he didn't. He like stayed with his like normal voice that he had in the bit where they were going to space. But yeah, the CGI looked good. Like the uniforms look great. I thought the uniforms looked really good. It was kind of like as if the comic book had come to the screen. Like they didn't try and like update it like the MCU does. They looked like the classic costumes, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, no, in regards to a comic accurate representation of the Fantastic Four, easily so far, just with the little glimpse we've got, the MCU have gone the most comic accurate so far. Did you see Dan Yoon's tweet after the trailer was revealed?
No, what did he say?
He says
a Build-A-Figure wave coming?
No. He says, so again, just spreading awareness for anyone who missed it. So Dan Yoon says, I think it will not take 4 years for some fantastic Marvel Legends to come out. So is that Dan Yoon sort of letting us know we're going to get some Fantastic Four Marvel Legends for the movie? Because they have had this movie hasn't really been one that's moved around the schedule, right? This one has been locked into place for a good while now. The original date may have moved, but I think they've had plenty of time to prepare some Marvel Legends. So do you reckon that's a little hint that we're going to get some MCU Fantastic Four Marvel Legends?
I'd like to see a full wave, like a full MCU wave with a Build-A-Figure, because it's been a while. Yeah,
you can't just do one of the Fantastic Four. You're going to have to give us Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben Grimm. You need to give us all four. You're going to have to give us Herbie in there as well at some point. And I know they've teased Galactus in the trailer, but it'll be, I don't know how they manage, unless they do another HasLab, I don't know how they will do that. But yes, expect some Fantastic Four Marvel Legends to accompany the movie later this year. But going on that Fantastic Four theme, Rich has chose this Sue Storm costume that was short-lived. Would we say short-lived? Like, did it last long?
Very short-lived. But first of all, I just want to go over this comic book, because this comic book cover is just 90s. It's just like 90s comic. It's so stupid, especially for the Fantastic Four, and I love it. So basically, the background is like a hologram chromium cover as well, so it doesn't show up too good on a still image, but it's like all shiny. So you've got like Sue and Ben and Reed are all there with massive guns.
Like his helmet.
Like Sue's got, she's got a jacket on. Like Mr. Fantastic has got a gilet. He's gone for that look. Like, Sue's got the stupid pouches around her neck. She's also in thigh highs with garter belts, and her midriff is showing. And you can see the little peak of a boob window there. And Thing has got a metal helmet on. It's just
I know,
so
if his head isn't hard enough, let's get a metal helmet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm made of rocks. That's not hard enough. Give me a helmet. No one else is wearing a helmet, but the guy that's made of rocks is wearing a helmet.
And then on the right of Mr. Fantastic there, that is She-Thing. So for a time, Ben was off and She-Thing took over, but she was the second Miss Marvel. So she's there as well. It's looking a bit like Titania over there, but that is Miss Marvel. And then at the top there, you've got Lyja, who'd be a great figure. So she's a Skrull, but she's also dating Johnny, but she might be evil, like as typical 90s comic book.
She's a Skrull. They can't be trusted. They can't be trusted, Rich. I love how the fact that like she's wearing basically a swimsuit and she's probably cold, and she's like, "I'll just get a jacket and I'll be fine." That's how women deal with being cold. A jacket solves all problems, not the exposure of their skin. But yes, a short-lived Sue costume from the comics. But if you were reading at the time, I'm sure it's one that you probably won't forget. So if you, and again, it's probably not the most iconic look for Sue. So if you're gonna do
to me, Dan, it is the only look for Sue. I think of Sue Storm. I think of this. If this is not in the movie, I'd be really disappointed.
Do you know what? I'd love to see it in live action. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, for the comic accuracy, of course, nothing more. But if you are gonna do like a one-off design for the Fantastic Four and not feel obliged to do the other three. Because, again, it's awkward when you're going to get only one of the four because they're a team. But if you are just going to give us a one-off, then why not Sue in this costume? I love how you call a boob window Sue Storm. That's their official name. Do you
like my corner box as well? I spent hours on her.
The corner box?
Yeah.
Oh, boobs. The boob window. Nice, very nice. Very nice. So yes, Sue Storm. This is probably like let's just put our corporate Hasbro hats on. This ain't happening, is it, Rich? They're not going to do this one, are they?
I mean, do you know what? I think they could do it though, because they, like later on, like the boob window where it's a flesh colored for there. Later on, it just becomes white. They fill it in, the logo gets filled in, but the rest of the rest of the outfit stays the same. And I think for the Fantastic Four, they don't have a lot of luck. So if this movie does take off, I could see maybe this on a retro card. I could see it. I just think it'll be like, like Titania's got that like lavender strip. I think she'll have like a Modesty 4. I think it'll be like a white 4 stuck over the top. But I'm sure we could paint it out if we wanted to.
Yeah, David Evans Smith is getting his nail varnish epoxy, getting it out already. Or via the comic format, Rich, just like we have here. Fantastic Four are definitely going to be in the zeitgeist. They're definitely going to be a name in pop culture currently. Hopefully, if the movie does well, hopefully this should be a good year for the MCU with Captain America just 2 weeks away now. Or no, a week away, right? A week tomorrow. Then you got Daredevil in March, then we've got the Thunderbolts later on, and then in July we've got the Fantastic Four. So I've been saying all year that my prediction is some future Foundation versions of the Fantastic Four to accompany the Dragon Man. That's due May, by the way. Dragon Man was due May. Now again, that date might move, but if you're going to release some figures around about the time we get Dragon Man. Again, some comic characters are always released to accompany a movie wave. Now we've already got the comic Captain America figures because they were released last year when the film was originally meant to come out. So maybe this year we will get some more comic Thunderbolts and some more comic Fantastic Four figures. I was on eBay yesterday. I've got Marvel Legends as a save list. You know, just out of curiosity, I'd scroll. And the Fantastic Four figures are going up in price. Like, even the Dan Slott versions, which are clearly not the darker uniforms that they wear in the movie, even those are going for a higher price. And, I just think people are going to get that want to scratch that Fantastic Four itch. So, on
my eBay save list, I've got Boob Window Sue action figure, but no hits yet, Dan. Still waiting for those hits to come.
Hopefully, we can make it happen in the Marvel Legends line, just like we have here. So yeah, good choice for Boob Window Sue.
Do you think they would call it Marvel's Boob Window Sue Storm?
I don't think they will use the word.
I think they should. I think that would be amazing.
Because like you have included up here, they have to put that sticker on for +4, and I don't think they will allow. I think the word boob, even though it's not an offensive word by any means, I don't think that will get past the censorship, unfortunately, which is a shame. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, now this is a topic Rich can absolutely talk about, and this is a great opportunity to show off the figure that you've got in hand before absolutely anybody else, Rich. It's Husk. She made it out of Canada, and
Canada.
There's no President Trump over here.
CMD store. Thank you, David Evans Smith.
Yeah.
No, thank you to postage rates, but at least they didn't charge me custom charges. Dan, it sneaked through. I didn't get another payment this end. I'm so happy.
Sneaked through. I got some Cosmic Legions, and they have just arrived today, and they were stuck in customs for a little bit, and I thought I was going to get hit, but they somehow snuck through as well. But let's talk Generation X then, Rich. So is this Generation X1?
This is Generation X issue number 1 from 1994. Beautiful Chris Bachalo art. Now, the Generation X cover is an interesting one because it is a wraparound cover. So technically, they could print the back as well, and then you'd get end plate. Like, Husk is just cut off, but there you can only see the side of her.
I'm afraid. They just put the Marvel Legends logo. they don't print the backs. And
again, this is another chromium cover as well, so they could do that effect for the background as well. But yeah,
you sent me. I've got one of these. You gifted me.
You've got a Generation X issue 1, yeah.
Down.
But Generation X number 1 was like. That was it for me. I'd read a lot of the X-Men comic books. Like, I think I'd read X-Men 1, like the relaunch from Jim Lee, but it was like after it started, I wasn't there, like in on issue 1. I just remember like when Generation X started, like there was the build-up, there was this big summer crossover, the Phalanx Covenant, and then it was like, oh, Jubilee is going to be in your own team, and Emma Frost is going to be there, and Banshee, and then there's all these new characters, and they like introduced them in that crossover, which is a brilliant crossover. And then this comic book came out, and I was there for it. And like, I think I've said this before, Generation X is the first comic book where I was like, I picked up issue 1 and I read it till it ended with issue 75. It was the first full run I read like in real time. So I've got a lot of love for the Generation X characters. I love them all. I think I would love the full wave of Generation X. But I would love to see this comic book represented in little minifigure. That's the one that would get me to buy it, Dan. You put this with any figure, I would buy it if it came with the little Generation X issue 1.
Well, you've brought the wave anyway. They've got you anyway, Rich. We're so good.
They could make them like mystery figures, like with all different Red Widows, and I would still buy it. Just to
put Red Widow with Generation X Volume 1, and you're gonna get Rich's money.
But they've actually done they've started building out this team. So like Chamber, we've had Monet, we've got Husk now this year. So there's still a few characters there that we need. Skin is front and center. Jubilee in a Generation X uniform is behind. Banshee and Emma Frost are behind as well. But with his rainbow aura, the character that I would like to see on this card would be Sync.
Sync. So why Sync?
So Sync, I think, of all the characters in Generation X, he's the one who I think had the most potential and was never reached that potential.
Okay, let's see what Shane Shooter
Shane
said.
Shooter donated $5.
Thank you, Shane.
Definitely would rather have BAFs than mini comic. But to play along, I want Sync. We're overdue for him.
Look, Shane Shooter
like mind
and
readers,
Rich M are on the same wavelength. He says definitely would rather have builder figures than mini comics. We all agree. But to play along, I want Sync. We are overdue for him for sure. So yeah. So and again, because it's similar to Monet and Husk. He's on a base body. What other characters could you do on that body?
It would be harder because really because you've got Chamber, they've already done him, and they didn't do you could do Chamber with like the Generation X lower legs, but they just did him like in the normal trousers. But with this body, the only other character you can do are Mondo and Skin, but Mondo is a much bigger character, and then Skin, it kind of has like open shirt and shorts, so it wouldn't transfer as well as the girls did. Whereas like the girls' costume, you can still use it. Like you could use Husk for a Jubilee with some like a coat and some new hands. Even Gaia, one of the later members of Generation X. But with Sync, it would only really be able to be used on Sync, so I can understand why they did the girls first. But I think Sync, of all the characters in Generation X, he had the most potential. So basically, he's kind of like a mimic character. He can, when his aura picks up another mutant, he can like adapt to their powers, but he can be stronger than them. He can use their powers better than they can. So like Jubilee, he can like blow up like a city block. He syncs with Sabretooth at one point, and he just becomes like this big bulky, and he's like more agile than Sabretooth ever could be. And then he died in the original. This is not a spoiler. This is like 20 years ago comic books, but he dies in the original Generation X comic book. He is the only character who dies in the Generation X run. Blink dies before Generation X starts. She was going to be a member, and she dies in the Phalanx Covenant, but then she came back in Age of Apocalypse, and they used Blink again. But Sync died in Generation X, and then there was like a 15-year period where there was no Sync. And then in the Krakoa, in the House of X, they brought him back, and they really like beat up his powers. Like he was stuck in the vault, the Children of the Vault, with Darwin and X-23, and he lived for like thousands of years by like sinking to their powers. So he had Darwin's ability to adapt to anything, and Laura's ability to heal and everything like that. And then he's the only one who like escapes it, and then he becomes part of the main X-Men team as well. And he's a really great character. I really love Sync, and I think on this card it would fit. I would just get my Generation X mini comic. I wouldn't care who they put on it. Put Gaia on it, put M-Play. I would buy any of them. Just give me my comic book. Thank you very much.
This is, looking at the character design, is absolutely a character you could do in Marvel Legends form easily. It's just a male version of the female uniform that we've already got twice. But like you said, it'll be awkward to represent his power set in figure.
So it's that aura thing you need. So no, like the Havoc, they did have that thing behind him. They need to do like a rainbow like aura that could just go around him.
So like that. That's the rainbow effect. So something like that on the figure. Okay, I get that. And yeah, Generation X1 would be the perfect pairing piece. I love completing teams in Marvel Legends form. So as we creep closer to teams like, I just want to see them finished. So I'm with you, Rich, and I know how much you love Generation X as well. So I'd be very happy to see any more of these figures come out. Do you know the Banshee we actually get in this wave? Is that the costume he wears in Generation X, or is he a teacher? Right? Does he wear a suit?
Yeah, so he's in the blue and gold uniform.
Oh, okay.
But he's got like a jacket. He's got like an iris.
He's a pipe as well, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got sunglasses on at some point. His hair's like a bit shorter, like short back and sides. He's got in Generation X. But essentially, you can fudge the blue and gold Banshee into this team. So I wouldn't want Banshee as much as the other characters. Like Emma could do with an update as well to fit in with Generation X. But
as
yeah,
long as Emma can stand. I'm annoyed at the Emma Frost figures we get that just cannot bloody stand. But yes, Generation X, number one, like Rich said, any of the characters on this cover would make a great action figure. We already have a couple, but there's still more of the team we need, and Sync would be a good choice.
Available soon, now available in Canada. There we go.
Yeah, apparently so. So as long as Trump doesn't stop you getting them, then you should have them in hand very soon if you are ordering your Legends from those Canadian places. Those damn Canadian places. Damn shipping prices. Right, next up. Astonishing X-Men. Now, what is this? Is this a variant issue cover of any particular? Is this number one? What number is this?
This is issue one, but I think this one, the regular cover was just Wolverine's claws.
Yes.
But this is like the variant. But this cover has been like on the first trade paperback. They use this. So this is John Cassidy artwork. Like rest in peace, brilliant artist who like died last year. Was responsible for drawing all of the Astonishing X-Men run with obviously Joss Whedon right there. Again, we've been through this before. I'm not the biggest fan of Astonishing X-Men, but I know a lot of people like they absolutely love this. It was massive in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I think. This is about it's after New X-Men, so it's about 2004. I say, looking at Wikipedia, yeah, 2004.
with people I speak to when we're talking about like X-Men costumes, like. Our era growing up in the 90s, we'll gravitate towards the Jim Lee uniforms because of the animated show and etc. But if you're a 2000s baby and you actually got into comics, or a late 90s baby and got into comics in the 2000s, this is your X-Men, like these looks. So I definitely see the appeal for the Astonishing X-Men. And the Hasbro team have started to rebuild it. Now, we got that Cyclops... not last year, maybe 2023, we got Cyclops, and we also got Emma Frost. Were they both in the same wave?
In the same wave, yeah.
Is it Chode? Was it Chode?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Chode
with Monet. Monet was in that wave as well.
Yeah, so two of the Astonishing X-Men. And then in last year's 85th anniversary lineup, one of the best summer programs so far, we got the Astonishing Wolverine to go along with Emma Frost and Scott Summers.
But essentially, Dan, I'm going to interrupt you there and just say we just need one more figure to complete this team, don't we? That's what you're going to say, you know?
Yeah, and if you watch this channel, you know why Rich is ignoring one character that may be on the screen. But let's talk about a character that I will not ignore, and it's a character that we have technically got in Marvel Legends form already, but let's be honest, he's worthy of a redo. It is, of course... Beast, Astonishing X-Men Beast. Now, can you remember what year this came out? About 2007, right? It was one of those older Build-A-Figure Target waves.
Yeah. I'd say, yeah. Was this 2007, 2006, 2007?
Yeah, Legends took a break before they came back with Epic Heroes in 2012. So this is probably 2007 or 2008. Someone will correct me in the comments. What Build-A-Figure was this originally part of? I cannot remember, but this goes for a pretty penny on the aftermarket now, as, again, it's the only representation of Astonishing X-Men Beast in the Marvel Legends line so far. And he can still work.
Rush says he was in the original Holocaust wave.
There you go, Holocaust. So we're getting the Holocaust character, sort of, redone this year, as we know. There you go. There's the torso and head for genocide, aka Holocaust. So... Let's and again, this comic line has been about redoing characters that the Legends line has already done, but given them the 2025 upgrade. So why not give us a 2025 upgrade for Astonishing X-Men Beast to go along with the Wolverine, Cyclops and Emma Frost that we have gotten in recent years? Again, I hammer this point home as much as I can. As nice as it is to complete teams, if they're not going to do them in a quick succession, you need to start again. In the like, I use the Inhumans as an example. Like, we've got Medusa, we've got Black Bolt in the Marvel Legends line, but now if we get any more, Black Bolt and Medusa are so out of date, they need a redo. So if you're going to complete a team, do it in a quick succession, so aesthetically the characters are all around the same sort of finish. So let's get an updated pinless version of Astonishing X-Men Beast to go along with the nice versions of Astonishing X-Men characters we have so far. And we definitely need no more, right, Rich? Definitely, there's no more after that. So, would you be okay with Colossus?
If you go past issue 1, yeah, you can get like Colossus, and then Armor obviously joins the team as well. So then once you've got them, you've just completed the team and you're done.
Yeah. And the other one we will not mention on this channel, as you know, but Beast will absolutely get a mention. So yeah, again, Beast doesn't wear too many uniforms, but this one with the red, with the yellow and black X, I do quite like. And they call him Cat Beast, don't they? That's what they sort of nickname him. Is Cat Beast. He's a bit more fur lines with the face sculpt, but someone in the chat is shouting a name, but we can't read. I can't read it. I can't read it out loud. I'm so sorry. I'd never use the mini comics. They're just going to my accessory drawer. Yep, that's probably what's going to happen. But again, if it's an avenue to get some figures that we need, then so be
Gary
it.
A with an accessory drawer. I've got a floor. That's what I've got. Just pick random bits up. Well posh, Gary A.
So this one has got to be we need Beast in a couple of places, like in the Marvel Legends line. We need Beast in the X-Men 97 line. If we're ever going to complete that original team in like one format, then the X-Men 97 is probably our biggest hope. But would we get an Astonishing X-Men Beast and an X-Men 97 Beast in the same calendar year? Would they both happen in 2025? I don't see it.
But I think the looks are so different from X-Men 97 to this. I think if it was like an updated Jim Lee one, then we probably won't get that like on this card. But I could see like, even like a human.
Mikey Moon Boots donated £4.99 for the people.
Thank you, Mikey Moon Boots. Thank you very much for the people. Absolutely, we appreciate that, and that's 3 out of 5. For our target today, if we want the bonus show to be public. And remember, the bonus show, I will be inviting you guys on to come and talk about what comic covers you and what character you would like to see. So yes, 2 more super chats before we get out of here, and the bonus show will be public if you want it to be. It's the choice is the community's. It's up to you. Support the channel, and a little bit more content comes your way. But throwing it back to Rich, you were saying that both of the looks are different enough to sort of justify everything. Hang on a second. Matthew's jumped in. Thank you, Matthew.
Matthew Linear donated $5. Would love to see a Generation X Jubilee, Sync, or Mondo in the next wave.
Oh, that's one way to Rich's heart. We have just discussed, before we got to Beast, Generation X #1, and we just happened to choose Sync on this occasion, but I'm sure Rich would not mind if it was Jubilee or Mondo in the next wave.
Take all of the above. There's a Generation X wave, Dan.
Yes. So thank you very much to Mikey Moon Boots and to Matthew for the super chats. We appreciate that very much. But continue, Rich.
Yeah, so I think there's enough difference between this and X-Men 97 Beast that they could do it. Like, I don't think they're going to do an updated Jim Lee comic book figure this year. But I think this version, or even like human Beast, so without the blue fur, like an original X-Men Beast or an X-Factor Beast, like early version with the brown costume. I could see them being done. And like, this is going to need all new sculpting as well, isn't it? There's not much reuse on this one you could do.
No, this hasn't even got ankle pivot. It's got the swivel at the ankle, but no ankle pivot. This isn't a bad figure by any means, especially compared to the standards of some of those figures from back in the day. This is a decent figure. However, I do think they can upgrade it a little bit. But for the time being, this stands with my Astonishing X-Men figures. and I'm very happy with it. So thank you very much, Rich. Thank you very much. Do you have a beast? I definitely have enough to make a beast shelf. I'm very tempted to. I need to make a beast cube is what I need. Okay, so Astonishing X-Men Beast with Astonishing X-Men #1, but that's the variant cover. It's a better cover anyway because it has the whole team. Okay, next up. So this has got to be new, right? Because the rule of the round. Oh, Luscious left foot. Oh, he's made us hit the target as well.
Luscious left foot donated $5.
Cheers to you.
The next generation X member I would like to have is Penance in her black wraps. Sink, Mondo, and Skin would be sweet too.
Rich, the chat are talking your language tonight. Luscious Left Foot says the next Generation X member I would like to have is Penance in a black wraps. Sink, Mondo, and Skin would be sweet too.
I mean, of all the Generation X characters, Penance would be like the one I would want the most. But I just think because now Monet and Penance in the comic books are one again, I just think it's a long shot of getting Penance. I would love Penance. I would absolutely take a black wrap Penance. There was recently, like about 2 weeks ago, someone did a brilliant custom. I can't remember who it is now, and I feel bad for not knowing. But there's a brilliant custom Penance out there, like sculpted all her wraps. Her hair looked like it walked out of a Chris Batchelor comic book. It looked great, and I would love that figure. I just don't think they're gonna do it because it's gonna need so much sculpting and everything like that. But to bring it back to modern days,
okay,
we got with this comic book here. So War of the Realms, like you said, is quite a recent crossover. I think this is from 2019. This is the Billy Tan cover, and this is the new Agents of Atlas. So not the classic Agents of Atlas, this is the new one. And to be fair, we have had a couple of these figures. We've had Silk, we've had Amadeus Cho Hulk as well. But there is one character on here that I think, with the current popularity of Marvel, beyond the Marvel comic books and more the gaming side with Marvel Rivals, it is Miss Luna Snow down in the bottom left corner there.
So I did zoom in on the right one.
There you go, you got it right.
Okay, good. That was a guess. I'm unfamiliar. So again, I say this all the time. I'm not reading the modern comics these days, unfortunately. So there is definitely characters being introduced that I'm not familiar with. I'm not really a gamer as such either. So this character I am definitely unfamiliar with. So I enjoy learning via the medium of action figures. Sometimes a character just looks cool. Do you know what I mean? Or you read a synopsis, or you read about their power set, and they just sound cool, or whatever, that you want to learn more about them. And cool being the key word there, as I believe her power set is like something to do with this, like cold or snow, right? Do you know her power?
Yeah, so she's got like ice powers.
Okay.
But unlike like say Iceman, she's got dark ice and like a normal ice. So normal ice can freeze people and do everything like that.
Yeah.
And she can also heal. So like obviously in the Marvel Rival game, she's like a support character that can help heal the team. And then her black ice is more like offensive, causes like explosions, can like impact people and stuff like that. So like we said before about characters and how people like introduced to them. Like I remember as a kid seeing Firestar in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and then reading the New Warriors comic book because she was in that, and not realizing that Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends was where she debuted first before they brought her into the comic books. The same happened with like Batman with Harley Quinn in the TV show and then into the comic books, or X-23 who debuted in the TV show and then they brought her into the comic book universe. And Luna Snow's interesting because she first debuted in Marvel Future Fight, which is like a mobile gaming game. And then they brought her into the comic books, and her first official appearance in the 616 was in this new Agents of Atlas, War of the Realms book. But she's a great character. She's a K-pop singer, like who trained as a K-pop idol, was at like a Tony Stark stadium, and someone came to rob the Stark technology. She got chucked in like a fusion reactor, a cold fusion reactor, and then she got imbued with these healing and cold powers. But she's still a singer as well, so I think there's like a one-shot coming up now where she's on tour with like Dazzler and Lila Cheney, like all the singers of the Marvel Universe together in one-shot.
I love those old school power origins where it's just like, oh, I fell into a vat, or I got locked in something that would just clearly kill you. But in the comic world, it's like, no, I got magical powers. So yeah, I love those old school situation. I'm just putting into the chat, by the way, that the bonus show will be public, so we can have further our conversation on these comic characters. So if you are thinking about coming on to the after show later today, start thinking about what comic cover and character you would like to see in this mini comics line. Okay, we're looking for a comic cover with an accompanying character. All right, just one pick from everybody who joins the after show. So start thinking about that now. What is the comic cover? And if you want to get really ahead of the game, DM me a picture of that comic so I can show it on screen, so some visual aid for our audience, and considering it will be public. So yeah, if you're going to be on the after show, start hitting me up with those DMs when the show's over. But thank you very much to everyone in the chat for the super chats who made the bonus show public. Again, we appreciate it. We hit that goal. Goal achieved. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Right, so is this costume one she wears in Marvel Rivals?
No, so a costume in Marvel Rivals is a bit revealing, but again, there's alternate skins and stuff like that. So I'm sure at some point she'll get a costume like this. I think this is her Agents of Atlas costume. She's had different costumes in the comic book as well. So there's a lot of different things you could do with Luna Snow. I'm sure at some point there's going to be a Marvel Rivals wave, I would imagine, because that game seems to be like really popular. Like even people who are not reading comic books or into the MCU are like playing that game. It's very Overwatchy, like a team like battle game. It's quite good though, and it's free. It's free as well.
I've never played Overwatch either, do you know? So I have no idea what that even means. I just don't have, when I do, because I do YouTube, it's either you can't be a gamer and do YouTube at the same time. You just can't do it because the small windows of time. I just can't do both. So I chose YouTube, unfortunately. So yeah, I can't game. But if it's free, I might download it on the PS5 just because. Why not? Yeah, the Watcher says, Dan, Rivals is a blast. It's free to play. Just time. There's only so much time in a day, people. There's only so much time in a day. But no, people seem to be enjoying it for sure. Yeah, people have messaged me, Rich, saying we should do a whole theme on Marvel Rivals. I just don't like talking about something I'm not familiar with, at least. You know, like, so maybe if I give I'll give a review. You know the characters, and a lot of the designs are based on the comic books anyway as well. So St. James wants to reclaim his
James donated
throne.
$13.
Look at him.
Savage Land Rogue. Any cover, just give me the figure.
Thank you, St. James. St. James is our top supporter of the month, by the way. We appreciate that, St. James. Recrowned up that. There he is, top supporter. He says, Savage Land Rogue, any cover, just give me the figure. Shout out Ryan Harris as well, who's just subscribed. Hopefully you're watching live. If you are, say hello in the chat. This is live on YouTube, can you believe it? But thank you very much, St. James. Yes, Savage Land Rogue. And Ray Ortiz. I thought he said happy birthday.
Ray Ortiz donated $4.99. Happy Thursday, all eyed would leak a new Quasar in his more modern costume.
A new Quasar. Yeah, we do have a Quasar in Marvel Legends. It was a Walgreens exclusive, if I remember correctly. But yeah, definitely in a different costume.
An updated modern day Quasar, like from Annihilation. That would be great.
So thank you very much, Ray Ortiz and St. James. We appreciate that, gentlemen. Thank you. Okay, so we've got one more, right, Rich?
It is our last one, yeah. So like Luna Snow as well. Like she's a more modern day character. They've done a lot of modern day female. They've done like who did they do? Oh, I know what they did. It was Red Widow, wasn't it? That's who they did. They've done Red Widow, and they've done like Hallows Eve as well, who's like a more modern day character. But I think Luna Snow would appeal to like a lot more people. Like traditionally, the female character doesn't sell as well. And I think some of these newer characters, like I think like the female Electro, there doesn't seem to be as much buzz about her as it does about other characters in that Spider-Man wave. But Luna Snow, I think, would work. And again, she's not in her gaming look; she is in her comic book look, so it would fit in with the comic book collectors as well. So it's bringing everyone together in harmony, Dan. That's what it's doing.
I think she would be more appealing to the community than Red Widow, because Red Widow just has too much mystery surrounding her that it's frustrating. Like, who is she? We don't really know anything. Where, obviously, Marvel Rivals helps, but there's still more to learn about Luna Snow in the comics from what you've told me, in our small conversation, than it seems like there is of Red Widow. Do you know? So
she's part of Tiger Division now, which is like a team of like Asian superheroes.
Okay.
And she is, I think, the World of Doom, One World Under Doom is starting now, and it's going to be called Doom's Division, and she's a part of that team as well. So I'm sure they're going to, especially with Marvel Rivals, they're going to use her a lot in that. And there is if you got Marvel Unlimited, there is a Marvel Infinity comic book all about Marvel Rivals as well, and she appears in that.
Look, it's only a matter of time. I do like adding new characters to the collection. It just gives me an excuse, an incentive to go and do some research and learn via the medium of action figures. I'm not mad about it at all. But I do like her character design as well. And the Agents of Atlas, that's Jimmy Woo, right? If I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
Shang-Chi at the front, and I think there's White Fox. I've said about her before. White Fox would be a great character. And you've got Swordmaster at the back, who is now the new Iron Fist in comic books as well.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, again, I'm not mad. Some people get really mad when there's new characters released, and they're like, "Oh, that's not. I don't like skip. I hate that person who just writes skip. Do you know, like when they reveal something, skip next. Not for me. Like bore off. All right, you don't have. You can not like something. That's okay, but just it's a bit boring when you just like skip. Like okay, it's not for you, but it's for someone else. Anyway, last one. Let's go to the last one. Okay, so there's a lot of characters on this cover, Rich. This is Ultimate Invasion. Now, in this wave, Rich, there are 2 Ultimate characters. So I see what you're doing here. There is Ultimate Miles Morales. Obviously, now he's 616, but he had debuted in the Ultimate line. And we've got the Ultimate Iron Man. So who is potentially going to be chosen out of this selection of characters for your Ultimate Invasion comic cover?
So Ultimate Invasion was kind of like the end of the Ultimate Universe. Like the Ultimate Universe had already ended. Miles Morales and the Maker had been brought into the 616. So essentially, this comic book is they are the only 2 characters from the Ultimate Universe who survive. There is the Ultimate Wolverine who was brought into the X-Men books as well, Jimmy Hudson, but they kind of like they don't acknowledge him. We'll keep him to one side. But yeah, it's these 2 characters are the only survivors of their universe, and then the Maker goes back and makes a new Ultimate Universe by changing things. Okay. So he does things to make it into like the way he wants it. So he stops like the spider biting Peter Parker as a teenager and stuff like that. So the universe gets changed and different. But I would say at the minute, the Ultimate comic books are some of the best comic books Marvel are putting out. So there's Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate X-Men, the Ultimates, and our Ultimate Wolverine has just launched as well.
Is that because they're not tied to like the lore that's already out there? They can just sort of start afresh with a new universe, and the character traits can be different, and they ain't tied down to so much lore, I suppose.
But the interesting thing with this one is because Maker has made the universe and altered things. So like he stops like Tony Stark becoming Iron Man, he stops the spider biting Peter Parker, he changes how mutants are and stuff like that. So it's interesting because if you are familiar with comic books, how things change, but they end up coming back the same. So even though Peter Parker didn't get bit then, something else happens and he still just gets bit by he gets injected with spider serum as an adult, and then he gets spider powers. Now he's got a family and he's still a Spider-Man. But it's really got, honestly, some of the best comic books out there at the minute. I would 100% recommend them. Ultimate Spider-Man, probably my favourite comic book of last year. And I think I've said on this stream a lot, I'm not a massive Spider-Man fan. I'm not the biggest fan of reading Spider-Man comic books, but that it's just really good run with like an adult Peter Parker with like responsibilities and a family, but still having to be like Spider-Man in a new universe with villains who are like you'd recognize from the comic books, but who are like kind of different in this new universe as well. But behind it all, you've got the Maker, who has obviously designed this universe. He's the big bad, this alternate version of Reed Richards, who's just a badass, and like he's again was part of the original Ultimate Universe. He's a massive part of the Secret Wars crossover. He's been a part of the 616 in loads of different places, even Venom. Like he's been in lots of different titles, like scheming in the background. And he's just a badass version of Reed. And that's why we need this figure. It's such a simple figure to do. I can't believe they haven't done it. And again, with the Fantastic Four movie, if that takes off, a bad Reed Richards, why not? And do the makeup. Because the thing is, Ultimate Spider-Man you could do, but I don't think it's enough different from the 616 version to warrant a brand new figure. It's just like a slightly different logo. His eyes are slightly smaller. it's not different enough, but I would absolutely love this maker, and it's such a simple figure to do, I think, as well.
The character design reminds me of the Professor X from the sort of House of X story. Do you know, just with his X helmet, but it's an alternate version of Reed Richards, like you said. And the MCU have already done multiple versions of Reed Richards, as we had one in Multiverse of Madness, didn't we? So again, this just opens up to, they could do the Council of Reeds at some point in the MCU, do you know? So yeah, so is he a bad guy? Is he villainous, or is he? Yeah. He wants to mess things up. Okay, but he has the intelligence, obviously, as all the other Reeds as well. Just uses it for evil.
Yeah, he expanded his brain at one point, so no, like the helmet like goes out the back. That was because he made his brain like so big that it was like bulging out of his head. So.
Oh my god, evil, dastardly. Ultimate Maker. So again, we like adding new characters to our collection, and as Rich has alluded to as well, it's an easy character to do in Marvel Legends form. Bit of black paint, bit of black plastic, some blue, give them a helmet, and we're good to go. Yeah, some ultimate love. They've already give some ultimate characters some love in the line already, so why not continue? And again, even though it's Reed Richards, it's a completely different costume design to any Reed we have in Marvel Legends form. So yeah, let's take it. Ultimate Invasion, the Maker. Good pairing comic as well. I like it. Yeah, honestly, Rich, this whole concept, we could literally pick any character in the Marvel in Marvel history, and then just pick a comic that we like, that accompany them. Do you know what I mean? That's how easy
there is a lot of scope for this line. Yeah. I mean, if they are, and I would imagine there's going to be at least a second wave. I can't imagine this just being a one and done. I think there's at least got to be a second wave, and either for later this year or for next year.
Yeah, it's like some themes, you understand why certain characters can't be made in that theme. Like the Spider-Man retro wave, you're not going to get X-Men characters in that. The X-Men wave, you're not going to get Spider-Man characters in that.
Iron Man, you're not going to get She-Hulk.
I was about to make that same joke. Beat me to it. I'm about to make that same damn joke. But still, there are loose rules you have to sort of follow with these other cardback retro lines. But this comic line, let's be honest, they can justify absolutely any Marvel character in history and just accompany it with a comic. That's all they need to do. And it's a way of getting something out there in the line. So yeah, interesting. I do think we will see another wave of these. Will it be this year? I don't know, but it might be one of those that we see teases of towards the end of the year, and it could be an early 2026 wave. But I would predict, Rich, that we would get another wave of comic figures. Do you agree? Is this a one and done, or will we see another wave of these?
I think at least one. I think they'll at least try one more, but I think this might be like long-term wise. Like, could be the way Legends are going. Who knows? Who knows, Dan?
We hope not. But we did ask the question in the chat earlier. Do you like this mini comic format? And it's close. It is very close. Like I think I've seen more negatively, just from the channels that I've been watching, more negative towards this mini comic, because people are so defensive of the Build-A-Figure and they think it's replacing the Build-A-Figure. They obviously don't want to accept this new format. But again, if you take a step back and just think, okay, Legends are just adding another release format to their arsenal and they're just trying something different here, then people can get on board a little bit.
I think though, with this idea, like, so if they had put like Generation X #1 in with this, and you still get the Build-A-Figure piece, I think that would have been more well received.
Luscious Left Foot donated $5. My Grail figure would be Douglock from the cover of Excalibur 78. Let's get his name out there, people.
Excalibur, let me get Excalibur 78 for the super chat, Luscious Left Foot. I appreciate that. So let me get that up before we get out of here, so we can show some visual aid for the people. Excalibur 78. Can you picture the cover in your head, Rich? I wouldn't be able to pick that cover out.
Yeah, I can picture Douglock standing there, like with his in the center. There you go, with Shadowcat and Nightcrawler surrounding him. So this is like Cypher and Warlock merged together, and he comes back as Douglock in Excalibur issue 78. So I think we've had a Warlock figure, we've never had a Cypher figure. So I think I would love a Cypher in his like House of X uniform. I think that is great. He's been
wait.
changed again.
Who did we get in the Wolverine 5-pack? The Wolverine Villains 5-pack? Did we get Cypher in that?
Cyber. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Okay, Cyber.
So Cypher was part of the New Mutants, and like Sync in Generation X, he died in New Mutants, and then he stayed dead for a long time, and then in Excalibur they brought him back, but merged with his self-friend, merged with Warlock together. So he's got like the transmode virus, and he's kind of a combination of the two, but his own thing as well, type of thing.
I like it, and again, this works well with this comic sort of format because the character is front and center on the comic cover, which seems to be the sort of theme with all of these, where the comics they've chosen are the characters are like front and center essentially. So yeah, I like it. Good choice. Good pick. Thank you very much. Let's just left for the suggestion. We appreciate that. But just looking at the poll, let me end the poll before I forget. And it is literally it's now just bounced the other way. So with over 200 votes this evening, do you like the mini comic format? 49% say yes, 51% say no. So it is very close, people. Very close. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. I do these polls just for my own curiosity, nothing more. Yeah, just a curious one. Again, me and Rich has said, like, we can criticize them doing the mini comics. Again, we're a bit old school. We prefer a Build-A-Figure. But we have both still went ahead and pre-ordered the whole damn wave. So what message are we sending Hasbro? Like, we're very like self-aware that we are sending the message of we love this, we've pre-ordered it all. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we're idiots. We don't really like, because I want these characters on my shelf, but I'm not attracted to this wave because of the comics. So as long as Hasbro are aware of that look, we like the character selection here. Comics are a gimmick, I get, but I'm here for the characters. But I don't want them sitting in a boardroom going, oh, this comic gimmick is great, let's keep going. Like, no, let's have another conversation about it. Again, it's not a terrible idea, but it could have been better as well. I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. But any final thoughts, Rich, on the whole mini comic format? Are you off to your local supermarket to get yourself some mini brands?
Yeah, I can't wait to get like my mini. I need some mini food. Maybe if I did that, I'd be like, shrink down, Dan. That's what I need. No, but yeah, I mean, like as a like extra, and I think maybe in hand when we get them, we'll see. But it doesn't inspire me to like want to buy things. Like it would be figures that I would be getting anyway, and that's just there. I wouldn't think, oh yeah, I definitely need that mini comic book of someone, unless they did Generation X issue 1. Then I would be there. I would be there for Generation X issue 1.
Well, thank you very much for leading me on to the segue of I will be able to get some of these in hand. So I'm going on Saturday the 8th of February. That's September then. Of February. So this Saturday, I will be in Norwich at Inderman Toys StoreCon. They are going to have the open day in their store all day, everything 20% off. And we're going to have some first in-hand looks of some new products from Star Wars, Transformers, but you know I care about the Marvel Legends. So we will get our first look at some of these figures that have only went up for pre-order today. I will have my hands on these mini tiny comics. I'm going to take Hellfire Hank with me. I'm going to be posting pictures of Hellfire Hank reading his little comics, starting his mini collection. But yes, if you are around in the UK and you want to make the trip up, come and hang out. Come and, like, again, part of this the collecting hobby is the community that we have built. I'll be going up myself with Jay, with Adam Batman Moran, and Craig's Nostalgic Dot Collection. Don't forget the dots. He will be signing autographs. He will be there. I'm going to make sure he has his own table set up, and I'm going to print off some 8x10. So if you want Craig's signature, then there's only one place to be, and that is Inderman Toys this Saturday, the 8th of February. So yes, I'll be going live, by the way. I'm going to be doing a live unboxing on the Saturday. So we've got this Saturday, I'll be streaming live from Inderman Toys, and then on Sunday, It's Legends and Liquor, people. We're going to be back with another episode of Legends and Liquor. So if you want to be part of that show, please message me as soon as possible. As on Saturday, I'll be driving in my car for 6 hours and at Be In Demand Toys all day. So I won't be able to look at my phone as much. So please, if you want to be on the show, message me sooner rather than later. You know I appreciate yours. Thank you very much. But Rich, any final words from you before we get out of here?
Just like if anyone's in my house, I will be revealing Husk in hand. If you want to come and see her, there we go. Come see me in my house.
Is Articulated Herons ever going to come back for a one-off review, maybe?
No.
No, okay.
No, look, those days are done. That I leave it to the professional reviewers. There we go.
Not me. I'm not a professional. Definitely not me. But yes, okay, so we're going to go over to the extra show. I have pinned the link into the chat, so you can follow us over there. We're going to be asking some of you guys what characters and comics you would like to see potentially in this lineup. Go and follow that link. We're going to go over there now. And again, if you want to be on the show, hit me up with the DMs. I thank everybody who contributed to today's stream. We appreciate you, but we are getting out of here. We'll see you next week, all right? We'll see you on the next one. Go follow me and Rich. All the links in the description. I'll be back on Saturday and Sunday. You can't get rid of me. I'm going to be here all weekend talking Marvel Legends and toys. But click one of these links in the meantime. Go and check out one of those videos. That one is great. But you know what? I like that one as well. Click them.